Hello, my name is KyAmbrae Williams, and I'm here to talk about small business and entrepreneurship, Chapter 7, and our intro to business. Some key points in entrepreneurship we'll be talking about today are the pros of starting your own business, characteristics of an entrepreneur, funding your business, and its economic impact. First, we'll start off by talking about the pros of starting your own business. The first pro we're going to talk about is independence. You have no one to answer to but yourself when it comes to owning your own business. You can essentially be your own boss, which is usually the point. A quote from Kevin Johnson from the Man Media says, "When people buy franchise, they have to pay royalties and other fees under the franchisor. This can eat away at profits from the start and put the franchise under stress. With your own business, you do not have this startup expense. You have the independence to do with your money what you will." The pro of having your own business is flexibility. You can set your own hours, but do not forget the correlation between hours worked and money earned. Though money is not necessarily the key motivator, it is a motivation for success regardless. With today's technology, the flexibility to manage on the go is very important. This pro is the challenge. It's not necessarily a pro to everyone, but if you're starting your own business, you need to know that it's not the easiest task. It offers various learning opportunities, and the struggle of owning your own business can be more satisfying than the day-to-day work of a regular job. We're going to talk about the characteristics of an entrepreneur. Here we have the characteristics in a pie shell. To me, the characteristics of an entrepreneur are equal parts vision, self-reliance, energy, confidence, and tolerance. First two we're going to talk about are vision and self-reliance. Being able to envision what you want in your company is very important. Without vision, the likelihood of having the drive to power through the struggle is very unlikely. Entrepreneurs usually find new solutions to old problems and develop products consumers didn't know they needed. For example, the to-go wine bottles. Now, self-reliance is also very important. New business owners tend to do everything themselves, from hiring to firing, to marketing and advertising, to balancing the books. Specifically, internal locus of control, they feel personally responsible, while people who have external locus of control rely less on their own efforts. Our next two characteristics we'll be talking about are energy and confidence. As stated before, under self-reliance, the workload is usually only on the entrepreneur themselves. 12 to 15-hour work shifts and endless amounts of work off the job are usually necessary in order to make a new business successful. According to our text, only 27% of small business owners define a day off as not working at all. 61% of small business owners reportedly work 6 or more days a week. Confidence is key. Without confidence in any realm of life, nothing can be achieved. Hope for the best and plan for the worst is the type of mentality that most entrepreneurs need. How can you sell your product when you don't believe in it? Our last, but to me, a very important characteristic of entrepreneurs are their tolerance of uncertainty. Things to keep in mind are things happen, and it's up to the entrepreneur to deal with them. Starting your own business can be a game of risk and reward. How much are you willing to risk in order to reap your reward? Some people go as far as mortgaging off their homes and taking loans out on their possessions. There is a such thing as bad luck in business, and everything is not cut and dry. There are no promises in the business world. Next, we'll be talking about funding for small business and entrepreneurs. Here's a funding overview. This pie chart was put together by information found on entrepreneur.com. As you can see, 95% of entrepreneurs get their funding from personal savings or family and friends. The next is loans, angel investors, and at the very last is venture capital. As you can see, most entrepreneurs spend their own money or money acquired from family and friends in order to pursue their business. First, we're going to talk about personal resources. Now, personal resources include personal savings, borrowing money from family and friends, and that sort of thing. When borrowing money from family and friends, try to stay as professional as possible. This will remove any sort of problems down the road. You can use personal credit cards, but it can be extremely risky. Make sure to get documentation showing what is owed to others, just to keep an air of professionalism between you and your family and friends. And a hint of advice, make sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed when it comes to borrowing money. Another form of funding is loans, more specifically bank loans, not individual loans from someone. They are also called business loans. They can be very hard to get and very risky as well. They involve lots of paperwork and long waiting times. Most people require some type of cosigner if their credit isn't up to par, and 20% of businesses are launched with business loans. That's it. Last but not least, we'll be talking about economic impact of entrepreneurs and their own businesses. At least, we're going to talk about new jobs and revenue. Our text states that in 2009, 99% of 27,500,000 jobs had less than 500 employees. 7% of the population was ran by businesses without employees. The increase in employment rate is of 600,000 jobs a year for new businesses alone. Provides jobs for about 43% of our nation's private workforce. Now, in terms of revenue, small businesses are much more likely to create new ideas. They have more patents than big corporations per employee, and small businesses are the backbone of urban communities.